Freaking out there. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men power want? More power.
My name is luca-zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, another Sunday, another show. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and also 104.1 FM. Alright, last Sunday I wasn't around. I don't know if you heard, there was a rebroadcast. Wow, this 2018 is starting with a bang. And I'm not even talking about a straight shot espresso, my Zanna coffee, talking about life in general. Kind of overwhelming, not complaining, but a lot of things going on. Believe it or not, I finally finished my move. I know people say, are you crazy? You've been talking about that for the last 3 months. Guess what? You have no idea what I had to go through. But that's okay. That's okay. I hope this is my last move. The next move is going to be when I leave this body and I'm going to be dead. Seriously. Anyway, now let's talk about the show. Let's talk about this hour. What are we going to talk about it? There are a lot of things happening. Okay? I believe there are good things. We have a lot of hope. A lot of challenges. Sometimes it freaks me out really what the heck we are facing. Almost surreal. Almost like living in a sci-fi movie. Almost thinking that we have half of humanity cannot even understand what's going on. Or maybe they're just afraid to face it. And the other part, we're here, sometimes we feel alone. Because they say, is it really true that we just can see this? And many people don't even want to accept it. You know, forget about doing something. So it is very challenging, all this. But I believe also that's why we're here, what we have to do. Now, on the good news, let's start with the good news. First of all, I have great interviews coming the next few shows. I've been now finally relocating my studio, where I have all my different, things I need to do my, let's say, interviews and everything else, especially with guests from around the world. Don't get me wrong. I like every type of guest. I'm going to have local guests and also guests from other parts of the world where we can share what's going on. Because what we are facing, as I said, it is not just an American problem or our local problem with corruption or, let's say, abusive government, infringement of our freedom. Also, it's something that's happening everywhere. And why I want to do this show in a different type of format, like almost more international. Even I really feel that I'm a very national guy. I like to stand up, first of all, for my community and where, my country is America. Because I believe we all, at this point, human beings, we are all facing the same challenges, and at least we can help each other, inspiring each other, and learning exactly what's going on in each other's country, because this is not just some sort of an individual, let's say, episode or situation. What we are facing here in America is exactly the same things that already people in Europe have been facing. We may have a different time frame, but it's happening everywhere. It's called global government. So I really hope we can inspire each other. And let me tell you, I don't care where you're from. You could be from Africa, from Italy, Germany, England, France, Sweden, Mexico. If you believe in freedom, if you believe that you want to stand for good, if you believe that you're not going to give up into evil, you're not going to submit to global government and global tyranny, I consider you a brother and a sister. That's for me what it's about, okay? I don't care about your passport. Seriously. Now let's talk about what's going on exactly in America. The Bundys. Amazing news. Last week, the Bundys, the father, Clive Bundy, and his sons, and also another member of the bundys-trial, they walk free. Okay, this is an article from the New American. Judge smacks down federal case against ranching family with prejudice. What does it mean? Let me tell you. 3 strikes and you're out. That was the stunning verdict that U.S. District Judge Gloria Navarro delivered Monday to federal prosecutors who had failed in two previous attempts to convict Nevada rancher Cliven Bundy and his two sons, Ryan and Ammon, of multiple felony charges related to the 2014 armed standoff between Bundy supporters and federal agents. Judge Navarro had cited multiple egregious abuses by federal authorities in her declaration of a mistrial on December the 20th. Now, however, in their ruling, she had left open the possibility of another retrial, which is what the prosecutors were arguing in favor of her. Latest ruling dismissed the charge with prejudice, meaning that the government may not retry the case. Judge Navarro's decision, which she read in a courtroom packed with Bundy's family members and supporters, was a forceful smackdown to the federal government using words not often in judicial rulings. Let's listen to what the judge said. This is so important, please. The government conduct in this case was indeed outrageous. The judge stated, there has been a flagrant misconduct, substantial prejudice, and no lesser remedy is sufficient. She also used words as specifically egregious, grossly shocking, and reckless disregard in a stringing rebuke to the federal government's misconduct. The judge found prosecutors had engaged in a deliberate attempt to mislead and had made multiple misrepresentations, both to the defense and to the court, regarding exculpatory Brady evidence they are required to produce for the defense. Instead, they have repeatedly concealed and denied the existence of the evidence. I mean, this is serious. This is serious. Bottom line, what we are facing here is finally some justice. The problem is that is not complete justice, in my opinion. I said many times, if we, regular people, okay, human beings, I also consider sometimes ourselves, subjects compared to these federal agents, federal government. Because after all, think about it. If you, me, us, we lie to any of these overlords, we can face, for sure, felony charges. Just because we lie. Just because we say something, we may also be not sure. You may forget something, and they think that you lie, and you have to face trial. These prosecutors, these federal prosecutors, they've been lying, misleading. And this is not just me, saying. It's a judge, by the way. And guess what? All they're going to get is nothing. Not even being fired. Forget about being fired. Forget even about being sued. Now, we'll see now if the Bundys or maybe other people that they were found not guilty, like Ryan Payne, they will prosecute me. They will at least sue him. The problem is that you sue these bastards, you're not going to sue directly. They're not going to pay for anything. The federal government, means us, tax dollars, will pay for them. But this is beyond suing. This is beyond civil action. Let's not forget, these people, they, first of all, already spent at least 2 years, over 700 days, locked up in federal detainment, in federal prison, waiting for trial, away from their families, losing their jobs, losing their, income, losing their homes, some of them. And let's not forget, some of them, they even didn't make it alive. And let's not forget Avoy Finicum. And let's not forget also, think about it, how much priceless it is, the time that you're never going to get back from, away from your children, especially when they're young children. I mean, I already told you, Eric J. Park has been on my show many times. He has 2 little children, his wife. But more important, as I said, think about it. They never had a chance to have a fair trial because the prosecution's been lying. And when the judge finally found out that she was acting because she was fed with information that they were false, and she admitted it now. I mean, first of all, you do not deny a trial. You do not deny a speedy trial. You do not deny, the basic opportunity to be bailed out, especially when you have any type of previous criminal record, where you're not a violent person, where you know that you're a law-abiding person, you've been a law-abiding person of your life, and now they've been treated worse than the serial killer, worse than the rapist. Seriously. If you are, as I said many times, if you're a bank robber, you're going to have some bail somehow. These people didn't have it. So that's why it's such a travesty. Yes, it's a great victory. We must really celebrate, because I tell you, we are next. If this trial did not go the way it went, at least for these people, the prosecutors, the federal government would have never stopped, because they wanted to make an example. How dare you? How dare you, slaves, to stand up against our abuse of power? By the way, as I said, there is so much more that needs to be uncovered. We're talking about now, we're just on the top of the iceberg. Talking about really the special interest behind of the politicians who wanted to kick out the Bundys out of this land. It wasn't about the freaking turtles or the grazing fees or saving the world or saving the planet or saving the environment. This was about complete, first of all, special interest, and more important to remind, after all, that we do not own anything. If the government tells us you need to jump, you jump, and you run. For the first time in many, many years, at least I would say since 1946, I said already one time, the Battle of Athens, Tennessee. Go find out. This is the second time since the from the Revolutionary War, that American people stood up. The second time, the first time was the Revolutionary War. Then we had the last time was the Battle of Athens in Tennessee. Go find out, go Google it, 1946. And then we had this time. This is the second time. Okay? The American people stood up and said, no, we're not going to somehow obey you, federal government or government in general, and we're going to use our rights, our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, to stand up against this abuse of power. And I'm so proud and I'm so happy. As I said, I was there, documented this event, and I knew my name was mentioned in court. I have witnesses. I have the wife of Parker, Andrea Parker, Eddie J. Parker. Technically, I could have been the next one to be locked up. Seriously. This is America now. And trust me, they don't care to destroy another life, and they may try other ways. I know that. By the way, I know that I've been followed. I know that my phone conversations, they are completely recorded. I can hear your beeps. I can hear your clicks. Guys, federal government, I feel sorry for you. If that's what you're doing, maybe an automated system, probably. But I tell you, I know very well that my name is out there. For many reasons. I know now I do different type of line of business that may be more understandable, must be scrutinized, because after all, I have also a big responsibility, I manufacture guns. I understand that, but I wouldn't be surprised really that, somebody's trying to set me up. I'm telling you really, I have that feeling. But this has been going on a long time. And as I said, I have people approach me lately, supposedly a journalist, professor from San Diego University. I won't mention her name. I had a great meeting, here in Kingman. She's doing a report. But don't get me wrong. Every time somebody approaches me, she's doing some sort of a journalistic work, I always have my question between myself. Who are you really? Are you really so interested about me as a subject for an article? Or maybe you're just trying to do the work, like been proven many times by the federal government, send out journalists or reporters or, video cameramen to just try to find something to incriminate some poor bastards out there. The good thing, guys, all you have to do, you guys from the government, that you try to find something about me, just listen to my show. Because everything I do in my life is pretty much on the open. And I tell you on my show. All you have to do, go to my website. If you want to know who I train, the funny thing was one question I had from this lady. Okay, what do you type of student, any type of preppers, any type of, almost militiamen or whatever, mister. I train law-abiding people. I train, first of all, that my average student is average Joe. it's every Jane mostly. I'm mostly ladies, by the way, single mothers too. Of course, I do it for free for them. But more important, I'm here as a law-abiding person, even when I don't like the laws. I said many times, there are things that I don't agree, I don't like. But I always, once, I'm here, I play by the book. Because I don't want to even give you the opportunity to smash me. I go for the long run. I hope we can change the laws. I hope we can repeal the laws. And that's all I can do, But bottom line is, I understand we are all in this world right now in danger, or at least in potential danger. I mean, the Bundys is just the example. The people who were around the Bundys, they were next. I know I could have been next. So my point is, I'm very grateful, first of all, for justice. Once in a while to see a judge that even at the beginning, I believe really she did a terrible job. I mean, let's not forget, not everybody was like as the Bundys. I mean, there were people out there that they're spending right now 7 years in prison. Okay? I mean, you want to talk about some other supporter from the Bundy is being right now was sentenced just a few months ago for 7 years in prison. Jerry DeLemus, okay? It's a senior man, I think was from New Hampshire, okay? A judge called a New Hampshire man a bully vigilante and sentenced him Wednesday. That was exactly, when was that? Last year, to more than 7 years in prison for his role organizing armed backers of Nevada Ranger Clive Bundy. Jerry DeLemus became the first person sentenced for his ties to the confrontation that became a rally cry for those who want vast stretches of federal land in the U.S. put under local control. So my point is, DeLemus has been jailed for almost 16 months, there was time before, to the sentence means that the 62-year-old former U.S. Marine will spend about 6 more years behind bars. Okay? Think about it, especially now after we know all the lies, abuse of power, and also don't forget this kill list. And then let's not forget about exactly, they were pointing loaded firearms at innocent Americans. The FBI being caught, the BLM, they're being caught. I mean, just because this man was trying to organize some sort of a defense in case of a really an illegal attack. I don't care, you have a uniform or not. I'm sorry. If you do illegal things, we have the right to defend ourselves. I understand. That's the way they're set up. Just because they think you have a uniform, you're supposed to bow down. That's, I think, the way it is. So the same Judge Gloria Navarro, that now somehow, did the right thing with the Bundy's family. She did exactly the opposite just a few months before, when she sentenced this man to 7 years. So this is very serious, very serious. I feel sorry for this man. Let's not forget these people that didn't have the chance to have a judge that finally was seeing the light. It's scary, especially also the jury. So anyway, that's my point. So I want to really understand that I'm here. I'm not afraid. I'd say what I have to say. As I said, sometimes, I realize this show could be more harm than good to myself because he exposes me out there. I don't care. As I said, after one day I'll be dead no matter what. I do what I have to do. I say what I have to say. I stand for my principles. I'm not even trying to convince anybody, honestly. You believe whatever you want. I just try to give you my opinion on things. That's the bottom line. And I know that, we are living under scrutiny more than ever every day. So that's pretty much about the Bundys. And I have a guest in the next few weeks about this trial. And I'm trying to get back also Amon Bundy. I had him on my show. I had Ryan Bundy on my show. I mean, now hopefully they can spend a little time with their family. They're going to go back to be normal people. And I would like to have them back on my show. That's going to be my goal. Now, let's talk about other important things, because as I said, this is something that is happening. Our rights are under danger every time. Now, the latest news from the federal government, okay? Trump backs warrantless NSA surveillance bill. The president just tweeted support for controversial surveillance tool after saying it may have been used to spy on his campaign. I mean, think about it. Think about it. This is Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, designed to allow the National Security Agency, NSA, to collect foreign data in relation to national security, incidentally gathers millions of records on American citizens. The data can be accessed without a warrant by agencies such as the FBI to investigate domestic crimes. On Wednesday, the White House asserted the Trump administration was in support of reauthorizing 702 and opposed to an amendment that would require warrants. Think about it. The president, the man that admitted it, that this visa was used illegally. The surveillance against him during the campaign, and maybe even after he was a president. Now he's pretty much supporting it. We're talking about forgetting about the Fourth Amendment. People say, what do you have to hide? What you have to hide, stupid idiot. This is exactly why our founding fathers fought and bled, that you could have a Bill of Rights, that you could have a Fourth Amendment. When you have a completely out of control government that can spy on everything you do, every aspect of your life, and then of course you have some bureaucrat out there that could also abuse this power for a personal agenda, for a political agenda. Don't you understand what we're giving up? Don't you understand what we lost here? So this is really sad because I had for a moment, I've never been a Trumper. Yes, I supported him because I couldn't stand Hillary, but at the same time I always had my reservation. But this one, for God's sake, you tell me, President Trump, don't you see the light? If they done that to you, Mr. Billionaire, they done that to you, President, spying illegally on you, now you tell me that is okay. You're reauthorizing this unconstitutional, tyrannical act. What do you think they can do to us? Everything they want. So that's the point. So the House votes on a controversial FISA Act today, Trump tweeted. This is the act that may have been used with the help of a discredited and phony dossier to so badly surveil and abuse the Trump campaign. So that's my point. I have really very much of little hope for the federal government. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul also stated that the president was in support of the amendment to require warrants despite the White House statement. Senator Rand Paul says that he spoke with Donald Trump about the FISA, about agreed on position to counter what the White House statement outlined last night. So, you see, White House statement say one thing, the president said another thing. By the end, he's going to sign. That's the bottom line. Roughly 1 hour after his initial tweet, Trump returned to Twitter in support of 702 reauthorization, claiming the surveillance tool was only used to collect data on foreign bad guys on foreign land. President Trump, I wonder what they got on you, what they're doing to you. Did they brainwash you, blackmail you? Maybe they do I don't know. They got some dirt on you. Maybe it's not even you anymore. I start to believe maybe we've been taken over seriously and you're just a puppet at this point. Seriously. You have a man that before you went to the White House, he had a very clear agenda on many issues. You may agree or not with him, doesn't matter. Now, it's all about compromise. It's all about changing your mind. Talking about this one, for me, it's black and white. It's no brainer. First you say something, then you say, no, I support it. More important, you felt on your own skin exactly what it means to be. You see, look what they've done to you. It is not just something they spy on bad people. They can create a case. They can spy and have the opportunity to fabricate a case against you and destroy your life. Think if this man wasn't the president. Think if this man was not a billionaire. Think if this man was just a regular Joe working 9 to 5 with no financial support, what they could have done to him. Forget about the connection with the Russians. They could have signed a connection with the Martians, for God's sake. So that's my point. Very disappointing in this one, but not surprised at all. So let's have a little bit of a break. I have more news I want to share. As I said, I've been approached by this reporter about this situation with, I know that, by the way, you listen to my show, and I appreciate it, by the way. I gave you 1 hour of my time last week, And it was a great conversation. Worst case scenario, I said, even if you are just doing a report of some sort, I hope we had a chance to exchange ideas and you at least show you my logic. You might agree or not with me, that's not the point, but hopefully we can help each other. And if you're doing instead a job of trying to scrutiny, to try to find out if I'm doing something illegal here in my little life, I hope at least I'm sorry to have probably, let's say, disappointed you, because, you see, I go by the book on everything I do, seriously. And more important, as I said, if you really want to see what I do, just look at my website, look at my Facebook post, and more important, listen to my show. I can save you the money and our tax dollar money, okay? Now, a little break, talking about, see, I want to tell you one thing after I found out. It was very disturbing, by the way, that I think I need to share. It's about my personal business, how this New World Order control can really try to get you and try to destroy you also economically. And I'm not giving up, by the way. I'm always here. I'll let you know after this little break. That's why I always say, please, you, the listener, you are my support. You are the only reason why I'm on the air, because I don't need sponsors, and I'm not counting on sponsors. I count on you, and that's why you can keep the show completely free, freedom of speech. Now, listen to my little sponsor for Zanna Coffee. Don't forget also to go www.zanna.us. You can download any of my songs, and then I will tell you this little story, what happened to me, and I will give you more details next week about it. Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna. Hey, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve a break. Enjoy a moment of indulgence. It's time for Zanna Coffee. Guilt-free pleasure. Zanna Coffee is the organic coffee to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Only the best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world that I selected. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade certified, sustainable organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Get your coffee bag now. Don't be cheap. Life is too short, and you deserve the best. Zanna Coffee. Here we go. We are back into the studio. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and also on United States to the FM network. Don't forget, if you want to listen to the past shows or you want to find more information about me, about the show, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Now, we were talking about a little bit about something that I really freaked me out just a few days ago. As you know, I have different businesses, or at least I do different things for a living. One of the things I've been doing for many years, I do online retails. I sell, import things, souvenirs, stuff from Italy, different parts of the world, honestly, and I sell them online. Been doing that for many years, beside the music, beside the poems and the guns and stuff like that. So I have a new project that I started last year, a new website. I don't need to share the domain name. It's useless. It doesn't really mind. Doesn't count. It's not important. But I had this domain name. It's about Italian, products. I created this website with the Yahoo store, and I was operating it. This year I wanted to try to change merchant accounts and different also hosting, because I believe the Yahoo store has been antique and not exactly cost-effective, especially when you have credit card processors. People say, why are you talking about this to us, Luca? Let me tell you, this is a point. This is important. Let me come to the point. The point is that last couple of days ago, I contacted the credit card processor because I say, I need to cut you off, guys. I need to stop the service, since they charge about $35 a month just to be active, even if you do not really do business. Because I was moving to a new credit card processor that is also simplified and cheaper. I called them. They are located in California and Silicon Valley. And when I explained myself who I am and my account, they told me, by the way, your account is being terminated in April. Excuse me? Right now, we are in January. Nobody ever notified me. Yeah, no, we didn't tell you. And by the way, our security team, the reason why we have terminated you, because our security team found out the designer of the account, for the account, that'd be me, luca-zanna, it's linked to more than 13,000 pages on the internet. Like, oh my God, what does it mean? Like, it's a bad thing. Hey, we didn't have to do any type of investigation. We just terminated you for security reasons. Okay, I was freaking out because I was even the person, I was listening to the conversation, I was doing something else. My business partner did a call, and that was already Friday. I said, I need to call you back. I mean, the point is, these people completely closed my account without my knowledge. Also, not only make me lose business, I had sales that did not go through. Think about it. The last few months, I wasn't aware. Not even give you a justification. Not even give you a notice. By the way, we let you know, sorry, we don't like you, or whatever, time you find somebody else. No. And they were proud. They were saying, our security team, like, I'm some sort of, I don't know, public danger, terminated your account because the signer for the account, me, it's linked in more than 12,000 pages. Okay, what if I was Brad Pitt? Maybe I have 12 million pages. I'm just a regular guy, maybe a little bit above the average. Yes, I understand. I do different things, and I'm sure there are many pages that they talk about me, between my music, my coffee, my products, my even political activities. All the question is, it is about the pages, the number of pages, or maybe the content of the pages that you did not like, why you cut me off. And what has to do really? Why you had to cut me off? Just because, without even giving me a warning. I mean, this is the scary thing. I mean, this is how they mess with your life. As I said, thank God, I have different ways to make my living, But before that was my only way to pay my bills. Don't you think this is sad? This is very sad and very scary, by the way. And talking about how we make our living. Think about it, the moment that, we want to start a business, you're already under the impression that you are not free. I'm sorry, it is the truth. People say, oh, you're free. No, guess what? I'm not trying to be a complainer or a crier. I just tell you the facts. If you're really truly free, why should I ask for a permit to operate as a business, in any state? Every state, and this is not just an American problem, don't get me wrong, probably we got it better here than many other parts of the world, but it's still the reality that you have to ask for a privilege to operate. Or you don't believe me? Look when you got your transaction privilege use and severance tax return, TPT, Arizona Department of Revenue. When you want to operate as a business in Arizona, you must apply for a business license, state license. It is called transaction privilege use. Let me remind you, and let me be sure that this word privilege sinking into your brain. Privilege means that they can completely revoke it anytime they want. That's the bottom line. And by the way, when you talk with these people over the phone, I had to call a few times, as I said, I have several businesses, and I go by the book. Yes, I do every license I have to do, city, state, federal. That's the way I do it. And one day I wish I can live in my world, that I don't need to beg for everything I do. But meanwhile, I'm trying to be the best I can to comply with your stupid laws. Yes, I don't like them, but I comply. Because I want to be here for the long run. Trying to be here to tell you exactly what's going on. But my point is, you talk to these people over the phone in Phoenix. Some they are decent, don't get me wrong. I got couple of people in the past that were very nice. But many times, you get these robots with an attitude. And I think they got special, test. When they hire somebody at the Department of Revenues in Arizona, you must have some special attitude, especially if you're a bitch. It's perfect. That's what they want. They really talk down to you like you're an idiot. Like they are some sort of mythological figures, like some sort of a semi-gods, because they work for the government. Hey, After all, you're just begging for a privilege. So shut up. And you talk when I tell you. I tell you, that's not the way you talk to me. Because after all, I'm still paying for your freaking overpaid, cushy salary. That's the reality. Okay? So I have my own things. I'll polite with polite people. But if you're a bitch with me, I'm more than a bitch. Okay? That's the bottom line. But anyway, that's the reality. The word privilege. And that's the way they can pretty much control you. And that's the scary thing. You know, the government can make a mistake. They're fine with that. You make a mistake, you pay. That's the reality. But we're here. I still have hope. I hope we can improve things. I hope we can make things better. And don't get me wrong. As I said, I don't like the idea that, you know, just to operate a business, I need to ask for a permit to a bunch of people that could be a bunch of bureaucrats or even elected. I don't care. Let's say you want to open a shop, a coffee shop, or a restaurant, or anything. Oh, the panel must decide if we need another restaurant in town. Maybe why don't we just let the people decide? Why don't we just let the free market decide, you know, instead of your socialistic mindset and control freak, you know, pretty much that's what they're trying to do here. That's the truth. That's the way it should be. Should be free market all the way. People, customers decide if you have a right to be in business or not. If you tell me that you can decide if there is another coffee place or another business at the same street, that's not the way to be free. Okay, this is government control all the way. And so much that, let's not forget, for example, you know, what government has been doing in Seattle right now. Seattle, Washington. Okay? Listen, I don't drink sodas. I think they're bad for you. I think they're terrible for you. But I tell you, you have the right to drink poison if you want, if that's what you like. The only the situation I ask you, please, when you get sick, don't ask me for money, and don't try to, you know, somehow just be a weight on the rest of society. If you think that you want to do, let's say, dangerous choices or unhealthy choices, you should be mature enough, responsible enough to pay the consequences. But the government should never tell you what to drink or what to eat. And they should never impose you through taxation their belief. For Seattle has decided to impose 1.75 cents per ounce tax on all sugary beverage within the city with the hopes of raising a $50 million revenue stream that will use for programs to help people have better access to fresh fruits and vegetables. As Seattle Station Cairo 7 explains, the price of Gatorade Frost variety at Costco usually is $15.99. I don't drink Gatorade; it's pure poison for me. I just would wash my windshield with that, but that's okay. With the $10.34 tax now shot up to $26.33. So think about it. Government now can decide that for an item like $15.99 pack of Gatorade, they can tax you $10.34 tax. So why not taxing another $17? Why not just taxing $100? By the way, they did that on sugary drinks. Why not doing that on, I don't know, on pasta? After all, you eat too much pasta, you can get fat. Why not on other items? That's the scary thing. That's what's the scary thing, is that really government, they can give you anything, they can take everything from you. Government that pretty much can be sure that you are healthy and safe, can also imprison you. It can make you live in a 1984 state of mind in real life. So that's the point. Yes, I understand people have been abusing their bodies, and then after all, especially with welfare, we have to pay the consequences. That shouldn't be right either. But at the same time, I believe that at this point, a government, they can start to tax you to morality. That's wrong. By the way, I would like to ask you, government of Seattle, are you also taxing aspartame? I mean, you think sugar is bad? What about aspartame? Are you have the balls to go after aspartame? Or Splenda, all these toxic, things approved by the mafia FDA, that they are worse than sugar at the end? Maybe not, right? You can't touch that stuff. You don't play with the mafia. You play just with the idiots. That's what you're trying to do. So that's my point. I'm really concerned about that. Now, the other things I want to talk about, now I'd like to go into the second hour, the hour about guns. Technically, we're still in the same hour. The format of the show, before I used to do 3 hours, we have the second hour. Now it's going to be condensed. And as I said, I'm enjoying this format. I am grateful because right now in the next few weeks, I'm so busy, I cannot do 3 hours like I used to. 1 hour, you know what, I can always somehow squeeze it even out of my busy schedule. So now, the idea is of what I'm going to talk to you about this is an opportunity. I had a dream. I want to tell you the old story. I had a dream like a few nights ago. It was an interesting dream. Almost, don't laugh please, because when I tell you this dream, probably you're going to laugh. And that's fine if you laugh, I don't care, you know about me. Honestly, I don't care. The dream I had, it was a big eagle, like a human eagle. He looked like a human but was an eagle. It was huge, by the way, it was about 8 feet. And talked to me. And say, hey, listen up, like that. That's write down what I'm telling you now, because that's when you wake up what you're going to do. I have U.S. Arms. I bought U.S. Arms brand, and as a gun manufacturer, I am going to start now the manufacturing of U.S. Arms rifles and also U.S. Arms lowers, AR-15 lowers. And that's already something, I've been doing, I've been planning. Now finally I got all my license, all this long bureaucratic process. I got my location, a city license, state license, federal license. I got my team. I'm very excited. I'm doing my best. As I said, I don't even do this for the money part. If I want to do money, make money, you don't go into a gun business, Gun business, the profit, especially when you work as a manufacturer, you must make quantities. It's really, I could make more money without stress selling peanuts on the side corner of the street, seriously, without dealing with federal agencies and bureaucratic stuff. But that's okay. I do this because for me, it's a mission. If you read my statement, mission, at usarms.tv, manufacturing firearms to defend freedom, not to entertain, for target shooting. You can do that if you want, I don't care. For hobby, hunting, I don't even hunt. I don't care really. You do what you want. No, to defend freedom. That was, and it is, my main mission. That's why I got into this business. My goal really, I'm serious about that. When I envision this, I would like to have every law-abiding American, armed with knowledge and at least a rifle to defend their families, their communities, and our country, and our freedom. That's it. Call me a radical. That's what I am. I believe in freedom. If that means to be a radical, okay, so be it. So anyway, that's my mission. So I had this dream a few nights ago. There was this human eagle talking to me, said, write down, listen up. When you wake up, you will put out press release where you state that your company, U.S. Arms, will give the opportunity to every U.S. military veteran, listen up, if you're a military veteran, you got an opportunity here, to buy at least, say 2, no more than 2 products, in this case rifles, AR-15 lowers, at dealer cost. So, and he told me also why. Because we're going to need you. We're going to need you all. So I wrote down this press release. U.S. Arms Firearms Manufacturing by Zanna Enterprises, LLC, located in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, firmly believes that every U.S. military veteran can be the last line of defense against all enemies, foreign and domestic. In case of homeland invasion, national emergency, or coup, our men and women in uniform would have already committed their lives to defend our republic, will be a formidable line of defense and asset in every community. For this reason, Zanna Enterprises, LLC, Typo 7 FFL, owner of the U.S. Arms brand, the manufacturer of the innovative polymer AR-15 lowers with mil-spec components, is ready to offer to every U.S. military veteran every firearm in inventory at dealer cost, starting at $84.99. Limited 2 firearms for every individual, for each individual. Offer starts January the 12th, 2018, and ends July the 4th, 2018. Here, how to apply. Be sure you are in compliance with the all U.S. federal and state laws, and you are able to pass a federal background check, number 1. Number 2, go to www.usarms.tv and choose the U.S. Arms model you want. Reserve the firearm by emailing us your full name, a copy of your state ID, and a copy of your DD-214, the product, the quality desired. We will confirm the order with the exact total. Then mail a copy of your state ID, DD-214, along with a check. Make to U.S. Arms. That's it, luca-zanna. That was my dream. That's the dream I had. This talking eagle told me to do this. Am I going crazy? I don't know. Maybe I ate too much pasta the night before, I drank too much wine? Maybe. But it was a very realistic dream. And you know what? And I think it's a good idea anyway. Dream or no dream. Because I really believe that people, men and women, already took an oath to defend this republic. And now they are back in our communities. They already proven that they were ready to give also their life to defend this republic. They took an oath to defend this republic against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I believe these people are the last line of defense we have in case of emergencies, in case of situation we are facing already. You think we've seen the worst yet? Forget about Korea. Talking about China, talking about an invasion. You think something that is out of a book or a movie only? Just because we never really faced an invasion in this country? Since World War II, we never really had any attack. On the mainland, technically, we never really had it because, it was a why, but guess what? Not because it never happened means it's not going to happen or may not happen. And there is much more than that. So I believe our veterans can be a great asset to improve really the truly homeland security. Not the phony from the federal government, that they try this to control us, not to defend our nation. We need people like our men and women already devoted their life for this republic. So my goal as a gun manufacturer is to give you at least 2 firearms at dealer cost. Just 2. Why 2? First of all, because the eagle told me, okay? I need to do what the eagle says. But more important, because I believe that this is not something you need to use for any type of commercial trading business or whatever, economic gain. If you want to buy guns, you buy through the dealers normally. But I give you 2 because it's for personal use. Maybe for you and your family member, or maybe for you and as a backup, 2. So that's what I'm going to do. And I will do that. So I really look forward, okay? Now, other important things we have, talking about guns, we're going to have some interesting situation here. We have another concealed carry class, the state of Arizona CCW. I'll be teaching in Lake Havasu City, coming the next few weeks, exactly the end of January, the 27th. By the way, I really enjoy these classes. I want people to know this is not for me, not even about a business. It is about a mission. I do normally these classes during the weekend. I can really spend my time doing things that I enjoy, family, range, reading books. I do this because I believe it's like my humanitarian activism. Even I get paid, yes, it's true, and I'm glad because, I work very hard. At the same time, I don't do this for the money. My job is to educate people, to have more responsible gun owners. That's what it's about. Because also I believe that more educated gun owners out there in our society means it's a safer society. And maybe in a selfish way, you could be the person that could save my life, could be to save my family's member life, So I really believe that's why it's so important. That's why I'm doing this. So write it down if you want. We're going to have, first of all, a CCW class at Against All Enemies, just to let you know, in Lake Havasu City, exactly January the 27th, 9 o'clock. You can contact Against All Enemies in Lake Havasu. And then also we're going to have the handgun class It's called Basic Handgun Class. It's 1-day class, but it's not basic at all. It's going to be a lot of great information. February the 17th, always against all enemies as you say, in Lake Havasu, okay? So that's very important. I wanted to share with you. Now, talking about also, let's say, federal government and really guns, and more important, let's say, politicians, okay? Their goal is to, in general, it is not just the Democrats, it's both sides. There are corruption, there are, people who want to detain power. They don't have educated and armed society of citizens. They want slave subjects, ignorant and disarmed. That's the reality. So they will find every way they can to try to disarm you. That's the bottom line. And don't take for granted a situation that right now we are under a Republican, let's say, Congress with a Republican president. Things can change anytime. Seriously. So be prepared now. Do your shopping list now. More important, train now. That's the bottom line. Now, enough about guns for now. I wanted to read about a little bit of this democratic study to expose online gun sales. Backfires, of course, but maybe next time, okay? I would like to talk now a little bit about love. The hour about love, at least the segment about love. It's very sad to me that a couple of weeks ago, I had the news that Frank Costigan, one of the hosts of K-Talks, died. I had him on my show just a few months before. I had him on my show talking about our friend, the former founder of K-Talks, Dave Hayes, who died just a few months before. And, I really was listening just a few minutes before the show. The last time really I talked to Frank in person for an hour, and it was an amazing conversation. We were talking about life, talking about Dave Hayes, of course, talking also about our last moments and the purpose of life, and the realization that we are not here forever, seriously. And the realization that we have limited time, and the problem we never know when the time comes. So we should really appreciate every second. We should be better people. Sometimes we should also put everything in the right perspective. Yes, we have bills to pay, we have challenges to face, all serious stuff, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, it's all very relative. At the end of the day, I don't want to say it's all a joke, but when you think about it, in any moment you could be gone. And I don't even tell you where you go, because you find your way, you tell me, you tell yourself what you believe, and it's up to you. But for sure you will leave this dimension. And you think really your 401k or your property tax or your congressman or, I don't know, whatever the Obamacare or any other thing, Trump, Bush, Obama, really matters something at that point? No. At that point, it's going to be your new journey. And I think what we're going to bring with us is going to be our life experience, our love, and maybe also the sad thing could be we may bring also the, let's say, regret of things we didn't do or the things we didn't say. That's why I say use this time in the best way you can. Use this time to do things that maybe sometimes you may think are crazy, because maybe you're afraid to cross that line. Maybe you think, I don't have the skills to do that, or I'm not that type of person, or what type of choice, or I may do a mistake. Try. Worst case scenario, you fail, but at least you try. That's the way I've been living my life. I made mistakes. I tried. I always keep trying. I don't give up. Because at least one thing I can say myself, I don't have regrets. That's the bottom line. And of course, always with the respect, to others. I'm not trying to do things that they may endanger others, or let's say do other things, compromise others people's life. No, I'm just talking about my personal choice. I'm talking about my personal life experiences, okay? Sometimes, it's good to dare. I believe you should dare, in my opinion. So that's the point. And I want to say, Frank, I know you're listening. Maybe you're laughing at me right now. I wish, we could get together again soon, but I know for sure one day we will get together again. I don't know if we're going to be able to break bread like I did when I came to the radio a few years ago, over 6 years ago at this point, I guess, when you and Dave, you invited me to your show. And I think it was 5 years ago. I came to the station, I broke bread, and we had bread. I think also we had a glass of wine. And, of course, that was my religion of freedom, idea, and Dave was shocked. And after that, all things happened, you gave me a radio show on this station, and I'm still here. I'm grateful. And more important, I'm grateful for your friendship. I'm grateful for you as a human being, for the things that you taught me, even when we disagree. That's the bottom line. So that's pretty much the segment I wanted to share with you about love, okay? At the end of the day, it's all relative, and never take for granted that tomorrow you may not be around, we may not be around, or, anytime. So let's use this time the best way we can. Now, I want to thank you again. I wish you a great Sunday. By the way, the new hour for the show, you can see now, I'm not anymore from 4 to 7. It's different hour, but still, you can always find my shows on lovegansfreedom.com. You can listen to my rebroadcast. Now, if you want to support the show, I really appreciate it. As I said, you can go to www.zanna.us, download any of my songs. Everywhere around you in the world. You don't need to worry about shipping. You can download any of my songs on Amazon, iTunes, or directly on my site. 99 cents. That's all it takes. But I really appreciate also if you listen, if you have the chance to read some of my poems. You can find, lyrics and poems on Amazon. Or also you can download my other book, the erotic poem books, Perfectly Crazy. And now there is a couple new books coming. I'm working on those. So I really want to share my humanity. I like to write books because after all, it's sharing about part of my life with you guys. And I appreciate your support. Now, next Sunday, I may have some guests, back to guests. As I said, if you want to be a guest, if you want to be a caller, you're always welcome. If you disagree with me, you think I'm an idiot, that's fine. I respect you just because you come on the show, okay? All I ask you, just be an FCC language, so you can say whatever you want. That's the bottom line. So I don't really have any type of say, oh my gosh, how dare you talk to me like that. That's fine. If you think I'm an idiot or I don't do a good job, come here. Maybe you can do a better job. Maybe you can also educate me. Say, look, I know what, you should do that, you should say that. Maybe you can improve something about me. That's fine. I'm open, okay? I appreciate your help anyway, no matter what. All right, at that point, as I said, have a wonderful Sunday, and God's willing, I will talk to you next week. You've been listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca-Zanna. Ciao. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca-Zanna on United States.fm.